So what we wanted to do here is really kind of wrap up our day and a half of Microsoft sessions before you get to the good stuff, when you get to the MEPs talking about the real truth behind using all of our products, right? What you really did. So we just want to kind of give you a sort of look over the way we're seeing integration, what we've kind of achieved over the last year, and also where we're going next in terms of both vision and some sort of concrete aspects of some of the product work that we're doing at the moment that you will see kind of lighting up over the next period of time, shall we say. So with that, just a year in review. We did this last year as well, just to sort of show the sheer velocity of everything that we're doing across a number of our products. The key ones around integration, API management, BizTalk, and Logic Apps. The pace of change is not changing, as I mentioned yesterday. Just in a year, we've really done a lot of work and worked with industry leaders like Gartner to make sure we're building the right thing for you guys, to make sure we have a complete platform. And obviously, we're super pleased to see this. It was just published in April. Clearly, like today, we're here. We would love to be. Oops, not there. We would love to be up here. Sorry. And this is really where we want to be, and really, we want your help to keep us honest, to tell us where we need to go next. Again, an eye chart in terms of the amount of features we shipped in Logic Apps over the last 12 months. And this isn't even complete. This is actually a view from a couple of months ago. It actually doesn't all fit on the page anymore. So Kevin showed this briefly yesterday. I just want to walk through this in detail, just as an illustrative example of what we've been doing in Logic Apps. We're bringing Logic Apps to the China cloud. For those of you who are international companies, this is a big deal because of the regulatory requirements in China and the Golden Firewall and all the rest of it. The Logic Apps will be available along with API management, which is already there. We're bringing Smarts to the Designer as well, in terms of really powering on the ease of integration on our platform, how you can get hints and suggestions and recommendations on building your flows, how you can create these business processes as easily as possible, because we know from the kind of crowdsourced data that we collect and that we have, which kind of actions go with which. If you start with Service Bus, you're probably going to end with Service Bus and not with Dropbox or Twitter, right? The other thing we're doing, as you saw earlier, Kevin talking about this, is our new ICE environment, providing dedicated compute and connectivity using VNet. This is a huge deal for customers who have stronger security and regulatory compliance, as well as wanting true cost predictability by providing a fixed cost model per month for a known kind of quantity of consumption. The next one we're working on is testability. I think we've had a lot of feedback from people, from yourselves, and also the broader community and customers out there, that once you have a number of Logic Apps, you really want more capabilities, more features in terms of how you do testing and how you kind of do promotion between different environments, and how you kind of test in production and sort of take things back to the bench and make changes to them and put them back over the top of your production running Logic Apps. The next one is on-prem. I think we've mentioned this before, but we are bringing Logic Apps to Azure Stack. That will be a little ways out, but something that you should expect to see going forward, that you will have a choice. In fact, an increasing number of choices. Today you have our multi-tenant environment. Tomorrow you'll have your own. If you want an ICE, you'll be able to provision one of those. As Kevin said, he can do it right now. You'll have to wait a little bit longer, but we are opening up to private preview very shortly, so if you're interested in that, do let us know. And then the next logical step is to bring it to on-premises, so you can run it in your true isolated environment with connectivity back up to Azure, so you really can create a single kind of tool set and a single platform that you can deploy your integration solutions wherever you like. The next thing is managed service identities. We've actually had a ton of feedback even this week on this. We want to, there's just some sort of housework we need to do to provide MSI across all of our connectors, and in the same vein, providing OAuth authentication for our request triggers as well, which I know is a big deal. And another one which kind of comes up a lot in these days of GDPR and kind of other kind of compliance is, how do we kind of hide some of the sort of run details from certain classes of users that you have, and use our controls to allow you to have different roles and be able to see or not see some of the run history information. And the final one is Key Vault, and some of these are coming very soon actually. So Key Vault integration, being able to look up secrets in Key Vault and use those to make connections to your backend systems without having to kind of create connections and provide all that information there and then. Okay.
I'll click through this one.
Yeah.
So hopefully you've picked up over the course of the last couple of days that, wrong way, that there's a number of components to doing integration. There's a number of capabilities that we have that are required to build integration solutions for different reasons. And this is going to be no secret to you. Logic apps, API management, service bus, and event grid. But together with those, you need development tools. You need to be able to create these integrations, deploy them, manage them, continuous integration, continuous deployment to run them. And Azure underpins that. Azure, up in the US a while.
Yes.
You saw Microsoft Flow. Ken was presenting that yesterday. And that's a piece of the puzzle for citizen developers to build that integration so business users can achieve what they want to achieve. Of course, BizTalk Server is still there. A lot of you are still using BizTalk Server and have that as absolutely core as part of your integration. And the other piece of the puzzle is Azure Stack, running integration on premises in Azure Stack, which is something that we plan to achieve.
Okay, and just kind of setting the scene, because none of our products live in a vacuum. Azure is a platform, and a platform has a lot of value. It has this network effect that I talked about yesterday, of the more services that you use, the more value you get out of the platform. You get the consistency, you get the security models, you get all the management and tracking and everything else that you need to run a true business platform for your organization. But Logic Apps kind of sits in these two worlds. We have sort of these industry-defined terms like iPaaS. This came from the early days of like the early 2010s around provisioning an integration platform as a service. So moving out of the infrastructure, so it has elements of serverless to it. The interesting thing about iPaaS is that it actually supports multiple personas. Flow runs on top of Logic Apps. It's the same architecture and different features light up for different personas. So we have citizen integrators and ad hoc integrators who are very attractive, business users as well as developers who use Flow to kind of do a Dynamics first or Office first type integration with things that make sense in that world. But they put a different hat on and can move to Logic Apps and even migrate flows up to Logic Apps and use the full power of Azure connectivity and some of the features that Logic Apps provides, like B2B connectivity. So we really want to cover the full breadth of what an iPaaS means to enterprise, because it's not just for the developers, it's for the business users and other folks as well, and everybody can get value and utility out of these integration services. It's also about high productivity, right? Removing a lot of the infrastructure things that you've been used to in the past dramatically increases the productivity. Also, because of the way we provision and run everything, you get a different way of being able to connect. It's API-centric. You can have a template-based approach using Azure Resource Manager to put everything together into a single deployment vehicle, so you get more predictability. And again, it allows you to accelerate the change, to do things more often, than having to worry about things going wrong when you move things between dev, test, acceptance, and production. And then there's the serverless side of this. Jeff talked about this yesterday. Serverless is just flat out cool from a developer point of view, because you really don't want to have to worry about getting the environment before you can actually be productive in writing code. And it's the same with Logic Apps. You just create one of these things, save it, and it's running, right? So you get, again, more productivity. You get reduced DevOps. Because of the way it runs, you get micro billing. So you pay for what you use. If a Logic App sits there and doesn't do anything, or a function sits there and doesn't do anything, you're not paying for it. Right? If it's not running, it's not costing you any money. And all of this leads to faster time to market. But altogether, the sort of intersection of these sort of serverless and iPaaS world with Event Grid and Logic Apps and Azure Functions and Service Bus gives you this richness of a platform for integration services on Azure.
So, what does this all mean? I want to draw your mind back to the demo we did yesterday. Seems like days and days ago now. It was only kind of 24 hours ago. But remember the slide we did and the demo we did yesterday. Now, in each of the stages of that demo, there were some really key components and functions that were there throughout all the stages. If we look at each of those demos, there's a component of APIs, workflows, messaging, and events. And we're planning to bring those together. We have a vision of bringing those key functions together under an umbrella, which we're calling Azure Integration Services. So what actually is the vision of Azure Integration Services? We'll go through it, but it's a platform for integration that works better together, that's tried and trusted, that you can use everywhere, and that's complete. So what does that mean?
Yeah, so platform integration, you need the key components to build into an integration platform. Not just the developer tools that you need, but the integration of the tools that those developers need, like Visual Studio, through to the ability to be able to track, manage, monitor, and deploy those integration solutions. A true platform where the power of the platform and the other things that we work on in Azure bubble up into the services that you run on top, whether it's security or tracking or monitoring or alerting. All of these things provide the power of the platform, the underlying fabric and infrastructure, which we provide that you don't have to provision because it's just there.
Better together. So when you use Azure Integration Services, using those core components and integrating them together to build solutions is as easy as possible. So we make it really easy to you through the UI or through tooling to create these integrations, to connect these things together to achieve the aims you want to do. And deployment management and analytics on all of those things also work in a similar way, so it's easy and it's consistent for you to use.
Indeed, and of course it needs to be tried and trusted. Not just from a compliance point of view, that's a given. All of the compliance that we provide for Azure and the services that run on top of Azure is just part of the regular rhythm of our business, whether it's GDPR or PSD2 or whatever it is. We provide compliance for all of the major regulations worldwide. Right? And it's up to you where you deploy it, to which data centers make sense if you have data residency requirements as well. No, kind of above that, as practitioners of integration, you really want to understand it, particularly when moving to new technologies, that you're just doing things the right way. So we're providing reference architectures for you. You'll see the first efforts on this sort of lighting up. We're aiming to get some of this done over the summertime, and we'll probably be talking about this more later in the year, but to give you guys a kind of heads up. Providing reference architectures that show that you are building the right solution in the right way, and providing templates for that as well, so you can even deploy those across all of these products. That's really what Azure Integration Services is about, is to provide you with the tools you need and the services that you require for your requirements, but also take you to production with these as quickly as possible. So with that, we'll provide templates as well for common architectural patterns, because we see people using our services together all the time. Service bus and API management compose really well with Logic Apps. So it makes sense that we kind of document this and show you how to do it at cloud scale across different regions to provide the kind of high availability and disaster recovery that you need to run your mission critical applications. And providing guidance, as well for that, the DR, but also how to scale out and how to deal with CI and CD as well.
And you want to be able to run this where you want to run it. So we want to give you the ability to run integration wherever you need to do it, from running serverless to running isolated, like the ICE environment you saw today, to on-premises or on the edge. We want to give you the solution that allows you to choose where you want to deploy this and run those consistent services where they're needed.
Indeed, and of course complete. We hate it when we understand that we have gaps, right? So one of those big gaps today is that customers using BizTalk on premises have no real alternative right now if they need to continue running on premises, and they need some of the capabilities that BizTalk provides. Azure Stack will address some of that for those of you who are looking at wanting cloud and on-prem symmetry with the same tools. But there are still other gaps that we need to fill. We have accelerators in BizTalk for healthcare, banking, and others, and we really want to bring all of that richness of BizTalk to Logic Apps as well, and reimagine what that functionality should look like for the cloud, whether the cloud is private on-prem using Azure Stack or one of the public cloud regions that we have.
So there you go, that's Azure Integration Services, and of course it doesn't exist in isolation. You're still going to need other services in Azure to be able to achieve get the goals you need and be able to connect to third-party systems, legacy systems, and those kind of things.
All right.
So do you want to finish up, or shall I?
Yeah, shall I finish up? Let's just quickly actually just step back. It's really important, this slide, that we understand that nothing lives in isolation. As integrators and professional practitioners in this space, you get that, right? We know that Azure isn't the be-all and end-all of what you're trying to do. You have on-premises systems, whether from IBM, SAP, or Oracle, and you require the connectivity to that. And that's what we strive to always provide and always be ahead of your requirements, that we give you the tools that you need before you even realize what your requirements are. Also with other clouds like Salesforce, but also our own. We really have 3 clouds at Microsoft. We have Azure, we have Office 365, and we have Dynamics. And all of these clouds together, we strive again very hard to make sure that they work seamlessly. And of course, BizTalk as well is part of this picture to provide you the completeness of offering as you move forward, to give you the choice that you need to deploy the products and services from us that you expect. Okay, so we're just going to wrap that up. And I think there's actually one more.
There is. Makes me wondering what this gorgeous box is. So we have a limited run of gorgeous T-shirts that my Microsoft colleagues are going to help me dish out in a minute. Unfortunately, we don't have one for everybody, so this is going to be interesting. And you'll see that us has the Azure integration logo, and also just a care of Ice Baby on there. So if my colleagues could help me dish them out, we're going to kind of throw them out in the crowd, yes, and hopefully nobody gets injured.
So as I guess, Steve, hopefully you've met all of your all of the other people in the room, and you've mingled. So don't feel shy about shouting out. I guess we'll chuck it.
Yeah, you have to do some trading after you. So I'll get down there.
So yes. Okay, here we go. College is going to randomly throw them at people, so you like them.
Same place. Thanks.